Your cat is lying on your lap. You stop petting him automatically. Again and again. Same rhythm, same spot. He doesn't leave. You think, he likes it. Everything's fine. But here's what's actually happening. He stopped purring 10 minutes ago. His pupils have widened slightly. His tail twitched. Once, twice. You didn't notice. And he will never tell you out loud. Cats can't complain. That's not a metaphor. It's physiology, evolution, survival. Everything that causes them discomfort, they carry in silence. Which means what you do out of love sometimes costs them far more than you realize. Number 6 on this list is something so ordinary and so damaging that after it, you'll probably rethink one of your daily habits. 10 things. The first, the most invisible. The last, the most important. 1. Repetitive petting. You're petting him, and that's good. But you're doing it the same way, same direction, same rhythm, over and over. And that's exactly what turns pleasure into overload. A cat's nervous system isn't wired like ours. Tactile receptors are densely packed in the skin, and a repeated, monotonous stimulus doesn't calm, it accumulates. It's called sensory summation. Each touch on the same spot adds more excitation rather than releasing it. At some point, the system hits its limit, and the cat snaps, bites your hand, swats, walks off. You call it out of nowhere. It wasn't out of nowhere. It just built slowly, in silence. The signals he was sending, tail tip twitching, skin rippling along the back, pupils dilating, ears shifting backward. All of it was there. You weren't reading. What to change? Every 30 seconds, pause for 2 or 3 seconds. Just stop your hand. If he presses back toward you, keep going. If not, he already told you enough. 2. The long stare. You look at him with love, long, directly in the eyes. For you, it's intimacy. For him, it's a threat. A direct, unblinking stare is a universal aggression signal among cats. This isn't a cultural quirk. It's a language cats have used with each other for hundreds of thousands of years. A predator locks eyes before striking. A dominant animal asserts itself through gaze. When you stare at your cat, you're saying something on his terms that you never meant to say. That's why the slow blink works as a peace signal. I see you, I'm not attacking. A study published in Scientific Reports in 2020 showed that cats slow blink more often in response to people who slow blink first, including strangers. It's the only visual gesture that works across the species barrier. What to change? Look at him, but blink slowly, deliberately, once. See if he blinks back. 3. Forced holding. You pick him up, he tenses, but you hold on. You think, he'll get used to it, he'll relax. He doesn't relax. He waits. Cats have an acute need to control their own body and space. Not a preference, a survival mechanism. A 4-kilogram animal that hunts alone cannot afford to be pinned down. Physical restraint, even gentle, even loving, activates the same neural circuit as being caught by a predator. Cortisol rises, breathing quickens, muscles stay locked. He won't relax because he physically can't relax until he feels he can leave. The striking detail. Cats who are frequently held against their will start avoiding their owner on approach, before any contact happens. They learn to predict the loss of control before it occurs. What to change? Let him come to you on his own. Let the first move be his. When he comes himself, it's a completely different thing. 4. Loud sounds and sudden movements. You drop a mug, laugh loudly, jump up from the couch. Normal life for you. A small adrenaline spike for him, every time. A cat's hearing reaches up to 65,000 Hz, almost twice the human range. Loudness hits proportionally harder. A sharp sound that seems moderate to you is physically jarring for a cat. The ears rotate toward the sound instantly. The nervous system signals danger. The adrenal cortex releases cortisol, all in fractions of a second. Then the body settles. But if these spikes happen 10 to 15 times a day, chronic background stress accumulates. This chronic acoustic stress is linked to some cases of feline idiopathic cystitis, bladder inflammation without infection, directly connected to cortisol levels. What to change? You don't need to tiptoe. But when you get up, move smoothly. Small effort. His nervous system notices. 5. Punishing after the fact. He knocked something over an hour ago. You came home, saw it, called his name, raised your voice. You wanted him to understand. He understood nothing you think he did. A cat's memory doesn't work like ours. Associative learning in cats functions within a very narrow window, a few seconds to 2 or 3 minutes at most. After that, no connection forms. The neural pathways simply don't get built. When you scold him an hour later, he gets anxiety, raised voice, and hostile owner behavior, with no cause he can connect it to. He doesn't feel guilt, he feels fear. The guilty look is a submissive posture, a signal that says, I'm not a threat, a response to your aggression right now, not a confession. And over time, here's what happens. The cat starts associating your arrival home with unpredictable danger. You walk in the door and he hides. Not because he did something wrong, because he learned, sometimes when you come home, it gets scary. What to change? React only in the moment. If the moment has passed, it's past. Clean it up quietly and without an audience. Stop here for a second. 5 points, and not once did your cat tell you something was wrong. Didn't ask you to stop. Didn't storm off. Nothing. Because he can't. A cat is a solitary predator. Evolution taught it one thing. Don't show weakness. Hide the pain. Hide the fear. Endure. The very instinct that helped his ancestors survive in the wild now works against him, in an apartment, next to you. He endures. Not because it doesn't matter, because he doesn't know any other way. 6. Breaking routine without warning. You were gone for 3 days. Or you started working from home after a year at the office. Or you moved his bowl to a different spot. To you, nothing. To him, his map of the world just collapsed. Cats build their lives on spatial and temporal patterns, not habits in the human sense, neural models of their environment that they constantly cross-check against reality. Research shows cats track where you are at different times of day, even when they can't see you. They hear your footsteps, memorize your rhythm, build you into their map. When a pattern breaks suddenly, the map stops matching reality. That creates anxiety. Not a mood, physiological anxiety. That's why cats act so strangely when you return from a long trip, ignoring you, missing the litter box, eating less. It's not revenge, it's a stress response to a broken map. What to change? If you know you'll be away, start gradually shifting your presence a few days before. If you're moving the bowl, do it in small steps, 10 centimeters at a time. 7. Essential oils and aromatherapy. You turn on a diffuser with lavender or eucalyptus. The scent relaxes you. He's sitting nearby, so he must be fine too. He's not. A cat's liver lacks key enzymes from the cytochrome P450 group that in humans and dogs break down phenols and terpenes, the main components of essential oils. What your body neutralizes in a few hours keeps accumulating in a cat's body. Inhaled compounds enter the bloodstream through nasal mucosa and lungs, settle on fur, and get ingested during grooming, the dose compounds. Toxic for cats: tea tree, eucalyptus, peppermint, lemon, clove, cedarwood, and lavender oils in high concentrations. Symptoms of poisoning: drooling, tremors, loss of coordination, lethargy, don't appear immediately, sometimes hours later, sometimes after weeks of regular exposure. He's sitting near the diffuser not because he's fine, because you're there. What to change? Diffuser only in a room the cat doesn't access, with good ventilation. Check what you're using if he spends time in the same space as you. 8. Contact during his most vulnerable moments. He's asleep. You go over, pet him, kiss his head, press your face into his fur. You want closeness right now. Right now is the worst time. A sleeping cat is physiologically vulnerable. The nervous system doesn't fully switch off. It enters passive threat monitoring mode. An unexpected touch activates the orienting reflex. The body mobilizes instantly, the adrenal glands release adrenaline, the heart rate spikes. It's not just you woke him up. It's a physiological stress response. A cat who is regularly disturbed during sleep starts choosing places that are harder to find: top shelves, inside closets, corners behind furniture. She's not leaving because she loves you less. She's looking for safety. The safety you, without knowing it, stopped providing. What to change? Let him wake up on his own. If you want to be close, just sit nearby. No touching. 9. You don't notice when something's wrong because he doesn't show it. This isn't a separate mistake. It's the systemic problem that underlies everything on this list. A cat in pain doesn't whimper, doesn't limp dramatically, doesn't stop eating on day one. He'll eat through the pain because not eating is also a vulnerability. He hides, gets a little quieter, moves a little less, jumps on the couch a little less often. If you don't know his exact normal, you won't notice the difference. Vets call this last-minute syndrome. By the time a cat starts showing obvious signs of pain or illness, the process has been running for a long time. Everything that came before happened in silence. It's not your fault. It's the physiology of an evolutionary predator. But it means your job is to know the baseline so well that you catch the deviation before it becomes obvious. What to change? Once a week, 5 minutes of observation. Not play, not petting, just watch. How he walks, how he jumps, how he eats, how he holds his head. It's the only way to hear what he will never say out loud. 10. You're present in the room, but not actually there. You're on the couch. He's next to you. You're on your phone. He's looking at you. You keep scrolling. This isn't a speech about screen time. It's about something specific in the biology of feline attachment. A study published in Current Biology in 2019 found that cats form a type of bond with their owner analogous to the parent-child attachment. Most cats in the study showed secure attachment, using their owner as a safe base from which to explore. When the owner disappears, psychologically, goes into their phone, stops responding, that base becomes unstable. The cat who comes to you, sits down and looks at you isn't just sitting there. He's checking the connection. He's looking for confirmation that you're here. If you don't respond once, twice, 3 times, he stops coming. Not because he stopped needing, because he learned no response. He won't demand your attention. He'll just quietly stop looking for it. What to change? When he comes and sits next to you, look up for 10 seconds. Look at him. Slow blink. Put your hand nearby. Not on him, just nearby. That's enough. He got his answer. You didn't know all of this, or you knew some of it, and while you didn't know, he kept coming back. Every day, choosing your couch, your lap, your side at night. Not because there was nowhere else. A cat always has somewhere else to go, because he was choosing you. Think about how many more times in his life he'll come and lie down beside you. If he's 3 now, there might be 12 years ahead. 12 years is about 4,000 evenings. 4,000 times he'll come back and choose you again. But that number is finite. Tonight, when he comes and sits next to you, put the phone down. Look at him. Slow blink. He'll probably blink back. That's his language. You just learned it. Which one surprised you most, and which will you try first today? Write it in the comments. I read every one. Subscribe. Every video here says what your cat can't say in words. Next time, what happens to your cat in the first few seconds after you close the door behind you? What you've never seen, but what he does every time.